wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Kehlani, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
How you feeling?
I feel good. I think the last time we did this, we might have been on a Zoom call, so it's cool to be in person.
Yeah, it was Zoom.
Yeah.
How's your spirit? How's your energy?
I'm super good. I'm like probably the best I've ever been.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And why is that?
I think just life is really cool. I think I made something I'm stoked about. My fans are stoked. I got to do all these cool signings and see all of them in person and just like be back in the swing of things. So I'm good.
Does it surprise you? Oh, go ahead.
I said they say you're a gym rat. They said you up at 6 o'clock this morning in the gym. They say every morning you don't miss the gym.
They might have lied about this morning.
Oh, maybe not this morning.
I was dead sleep this morning.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm up. I'm always about my fitness stuff. I'm super healthy. I'm the healthiest I've also ever been. So
Yeah, I've been watching videos of you all weekend in New York, and a lot of people have been coming to your signings and your pop-ups. And
crowds have been
everything
crazy.
else.
Yeah,
How
it's
did that
been nuts.
make you feel getting that type of love?
it's been cool. I mean, I've been doing this for so long, and I've been doing signings for so long. And at some point, like, my brain tricked me into being like, they're probably going to lessen over the years because it's like, we've seen her a bunch. She dropped a bunch of projects. I'm on project 7 or 6.
Amazing.
On project 6. Is it 7? 7. Oh, I was right.
7.
See, so much music. I forgot. That, I didn't expect it to be getting bigger. So they're actually the craziest signings I've ever had so far because it's growing, and that's all you can pray for.
I will say, listening to your new album and just seeing you over the last several months talking, like there's a confidence and a sense of self that you have now
Yeah.
that you didn't have years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Why is that?
I mean, I think it's been a long mental health journey. I think it's been a lot of contributing factors. New motherhood, different angles of like being publicly aligned with certain things or publicly misaligned or just like not stepping into myself. I'm 29, I'll be 30 next year. Like I'm growing up in a real way. So like I know how to prioritize and take care of myself differently now. So
Why did you name the album Crash?
So essentially a crash is the height and the peak of a moment. It isn't like the anxiety that comes before, and it isn't like the overthinking that comes after. It's just this like, clusterfuck. It's just this thing that happens. And I knew this album wasn't going to make sense to most people. I knew that it would be something that you either loved or that you hated, and that kind of just is a crash. And that's kind of been the reception. Is some people hate it, some people love it, some people think it's my worst, and some people think it's my best. And I think that's really cool.
It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of pop. It's a little bit
It's a
of
crash. It's really a
reggae feeling.
crash.
It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Was that what you wanted to do?
I didn't start wanting to do that. It started as my self-titled, and I went on this mission to like finally make the Kehlani album because I haven't done that yet. And we started going to all these different cities, and we got all these Airbnbs in different places, and it just kind of grew into this thing that resembled, I feel like, me as a person. I feel like I've always been kind of this thing that doesn't make sense to everyone. They can't figure out like who I am, what my story is, how it's been all of these things. Like, can't figure me out in whatever kind of way, how I look versus what kind of music I make, how I sound. And once it started taking its own life, I was like, oh, okay, it's just me as an album. So yeah.
What is the self-titled Kehlani album supposed to be? Like, because you said it was supposed to be a
Yeah.
Kehlani album.
Yeah.
So what was that supposed to
Well,
be?
that album to me is more rooted in the core things that shaped why I sing. I feel like the Kehlani album will be much more referencing like my actual core musical references. It'll probably be a lot more R&B. But this album really reflected all the things that I listened to, like that I grew up listening to, but didn't necessarily shape my identity as an artist, but reflect like, worldly where I'm at.
So basically, we're still getting Kehlani album.
Absolutely. That'll probably
Okay.
be my next album, probably. Yeah.
Good.
Lose My Wife is such a toxic record. It is so toxic, Kehlani. Like, why would you make those choices and decisions knowing that it could cost you your wife?
Oh, it's not a true story. I just wanted.
That's what you tell her?
No, it's true. It's true. So in my head, Crash is the story of this anti-hero version of myself that goes to Vegas and has this crazy run in Vegas and ends with that lament of like, damn, I've like, all of this is crashed instantly. And it's almost like the come down song of like, oh, these are the decisions that I've made. And like, this is what happened. So it's more of like a sonic story and an ending to the story than a true story that I needed to smack on there. It kind of feels like the Hungover song. It kind of feels like the next day you're like, oh, shit.
So this is your shadow side.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when you were in the studio writing these songs, you were like, I'm going to let my shadow side.
I was like, there is there's been so many toxic Kehlani songs. There really has.
Yes, girl.
There really has. And I feel like they are moments that people maybe want to say in their head and been like, I've had that perspective, or I've gone through that, or I've wanted to say that, and like I would never say it out loud. And to me, after I wrote that verse, I was like, this is kind of like stingy and it is kind of harsh, but some people feel like that. So.
Absolutely.
But when I hear songs like After Hours or like Better Not or Tears, it does feel like you're longing for a stable relationship.
Does it?
A little bit, yeah. Like in those moments.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody wants love. Everybody wants stable love, and we all just have different journeys through it, you know?
Yeah.
How has motherhood been
Oh, it's the best.
through this journey?
It's the best. She's 5. I can't believe it.
COVID baby.
Yeah, and that
It's
is
a
a
something.
whole.
Yes, it is.
That's a
Different type of breed.
whole
I got one.
other thing.
I got one. It's a
Like,
COVID baby.
I'm literally like, I'll make the day seem so fun. I'm like, we're going to the aquarium and we're going here, and then she's like, no, kind of just want to stay in the house and play. I'm like, geez, what are we gonna do? The other day I took her to the park and she was like, I'm just letting you guys know I'm not playing with any of those kids. And I was like, I respect it, but maybe we should try. And she did, and she tried, and she made some friends. And she's in school, so like she has friends.
She still got musical interest? I heard you say one time she had some.
She's on the album.
She's on the album. She's on Deep. She actually sounds so good that you can't really tell that it's her, except for her tone is obviously sounds a lot younger than mine, but she's singing her ass off.
Do you want her in the industry?
Wow.
I want her to do whatever she wants to do. If that means industry, sure. If that means she wants my help, sure. If that means she doesn't want my help, sure. If that means she wants to be a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist, let's do that. It's her world. I'm just here.
Yeah.
Is the industry good for kids? I mean, you're somebody who came in the industry
As a
Yeah.
young, right?
I think that there's two different, there's pros and cons on both sides. One, I didn't have access to the proper mental wellness type of regimen or care to have grown up in it the way that I did. And we're seeing the effects of people who, you know, adults now, and all these stories are coming out about them being like child stars or coming out young.
Yep.
And on the flip side, I feel like people now have access to that, but it's also a different demon. Fame now is completely different. It's why I don't really post my daughter. There's too many creeps. I don't ever her to ever look back and be like, I actually didn't consent to any of this. I didn't give any permission. We already get embarrassed when our parents play home videos for our friends when they come over.
right.
Like, if I'm just subjecting my child to her home video, her freaking growing up home videos being widely known all over the internet, and she grows up one day and is like, I didn't get to tell you if I wanted that or not. You know, that's on me as a parent. So
Yeah. Any more babies?
I would love to have more babies. Whatever God wants to bless me with, I receive. Yeah.
Can we talk about the record, What I Want?
Yeah.
I want a bitch that look better than me. Pussy
Wow.
pussy better than me.
Why you reading it so serious?
Yeah.
You should have had Jess read that
Let's talk
one.
about what I want.
Come on.
Is that what you
Pussy
wanted?
get better than me.
You should have had Jess read that one. He was so excited to read that
But
too.
it seems on that record, it seems like you're torn between wanting to be spoiled, but also feeling comfortable being the one who spoils.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely like, I fluctuate absolutely. I think I'm more of a giver than a receiver of like spoiling. I think that's just my nature. But it's just a classic song about naming all the things that I want. I don't think any of them are even cohesive. I think they're just like, here's a list of all my dream things that I want.
But if you're having a wild weekend in Vegas, why would you lie to a woman like that? Why would you make her feel like she's so special?
Isn't that what you do in Vegas? Doesn't
Damn,
Vegas make you?
Kehlani.
No, not like that. But I'm saying, is Vegas not like some adult Disneyland
Like,
of
you
like
don't
all
go to-
your vices and you
right.
don't talk about it when
What
you
do you
get
do in
home?
Vegas,
Like,
Kehlani?
actually, I have a tiny residency in Vegas. Thank you. I have a show. Thank you. I have a show at the end of next month and in August. That's what I do in Vegas. Yeah.
Because even on the song Vegas, maybe I'm tripping. It didn't sound like you was actually in Vegas. You just said what we do is like Vegas.
Exactly. I made a couple songs. Actually, I made part of What I Want in Vegas. I made part of Susia in Vegas. I made most of Susia in Vegas and a part of Groove Theory in Vegas. But the song Vegas, I made in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And then nobody go to Vegas to fall in love. Like they go to creep, have fun, you know.
Yeah, but
have
that's
a
why you ain't gotta
blast.
lie to the person.
Who said I'm lying?
Well,
Y'all don't
not
know what I
lie,
got going
gas
on.
'em up,
Right, we
Kehlani.
don't know.
Right, hello?
The record Sushia, doesn't that mean, isn't that Spanish slang?
Susia.
But dirty,
Sushia.
right?
He said
Susia.
sushi. It's
Susia.
Susia.
It's Susia.
Sushia?
Sushia.
Susia.
No, it's just
Susia.
Susia.
There we
Here's a
go.
lisp. Here's a
And
lisp.
that's-
Okay,
Here's a
okay.
lisp.
And that's dirty, right?
Yeah.
Dirty girl.
Period.
Yeah.
There we go. Bilingual.
Is that what the record symbolizes?
Yeah.
A dirty girl.
Basically.
Okay.
I mean, Young Miko's verse is crazy if it's translated, and Jill Scott is freaky Auntie Mack's extreme lord. She is the freak lord, honestly, the original freak. So I had to tap her in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an honor.
I noticed that you don't have a lot of features on this album.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
No, I tried to get more features. There was a couple of things that were going on, different time things, and not necessarily being aligned at the time. Different people not aligning with me, and just things not making sense. But the ones that did stick around for me and really, held me down, I'm super appreciative, and they killed it. Yeah.
Now, After Hours, were you surprised of how fast that took off, especially on social media?
Crazy.
Yeah.
TikTok was like a huge dance, and
yeah, honestly, I have to give a lot of credit to Darius Hickman, who's an incredible dancer, and he was in the After Hours video, and he left rehearsal for the After Hours video, and went home and just like made this little dance on TikTok, and it just like it took it on one. I think it's such a testament to how powerful like dance is, and how like dancers are like DJs, like they can really break songs. Like I give him all the credit for that because it's crazy.
Did you know who Lumi D was beforehand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Why you disrespect her like that?
I'm just asking.
Damn, that's a classic record.
I'm like, of course, the one song.
Lumi D had one song, so maybe people. Well, did she have one?
Of course.
I think she had one.
Yeah, she had one.
Now, you also mentioned that this album isn't rooted in your personal experiences or relationships like your previous albums. Are you saying that just so you don't get in trouble and people be like, damn, Kehlani's so toxic?
No,
She
I
just be
think
running through these chicks.
I think anytime running
He
through
wants you
these
to be a pimp
chicks-
so bad.
So bad. So bad. You know what's so funny is I think people would be surprised if they sat down with me to actually ask and inquire about my experiences, because they might look one way, but it's so many different scenarios that lead to why my love life looks the way it does. And so many that you would be surprised what's happened with this and what's happened with this. And it's my business and it's my world, and I'm pretty much in good standing with anybody ever. So like running through these chicks is extreme. You do really want me to be a pimp? Maybe I'll just start embodying it. Maybe I'll just live in it. Maybe I'll just accept it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Does that bother you, people in your regular business, not just your music business all the time?
No, I think it comes with the territory. I think
At one time, you didn't feel like that.
Oh my God, I hated it so bad. But I have been, again, your mental health journey and your journey in being a public facing person, those have to be in lockstep. Like those, if you are ever having poor mental health, there are so many times I could say I've been at a table with y'all and been in the worst states of my life. And I was like, okay, that interview is going to be whatever. And times I've been like, I'm actually not doing interviews this year because all of this shit.
But that's good though. You set a boundary.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I've also was not in a positive space to even be able to walk in a room and like hold that. Granted, I think the interview at the time that caused things like that wasn't my favorite experience with someone. No, but I also at multiple times in my career just have not been just aligned with where I needed to be able to show up in that way. So now I can hold that. You could probably say anything to me and I'd be like, all right, cool.
Have record labels gotten to the point where they actually respect an artist's mental health? Meaning, like, if you wake up one morning and you say, look, I'm not doing no interviews today. I'm not doing no interviews for the next 6 months. But they're like, no, you have to. Like, they'll push you to do it anyway.
Well, I've been signed to the same label since I was 19 years old. And I'm 29. And they have seen me through everything. So I think they're at the point with me where they're like, we get it. And we also know what you are going to show up and show out for. And that's, your fans. Like, I never play about my fans. I never play for showing up for them. And we've always been super transparent and developed a really good relationship with people in media to where like I've been able to call people personally and been like, it's not you. I promise, like I'm not doing well, or I've been on a run and going for 6 days and I just need to come in a little later, or I need to reschedule this, and people have been super gracious with me. So
I'm a huge mental health advocate. So what got you to that place where you are now? And I mean, and I know it's a journey. I know it's ups. I know it's downs. But what got you to this?
Yeah.
This sense of self?
Honestly, I'm gonna use this moment to be really transparent and to really advocate for people, getting psychiatric care. And I got a psychiatrist and I got a proper diagnosis after what felt like years of getting soft diagnosis and misdiagnoses. And I'm able to get medicated help, and it keeps my mood stable. And I'm here, and it keeps me like. I would absolutely recommend it to anybody that feels like they need it, because it's not something that anybody needs to shame or like be nervous about. And it's probably the best thing I've ever done for myself, for sure.
What got you there? Because most people, like you said, they feel like they can't talk about it.
Yeah.
They can't discuss it. They can't get the help because they don't want to be shamed, especially a celebrity. You feel like, somebody will see me do this, that, and the other. What got you to the point where it's like, F this, I need to get help?
You know, I was medicated when I was a kid. And I remember not having the most proper experience with it just because I was really young. And like, you're in school and like every kid has ADHD and like is hyperactive. And
At
you
what
know,
age were you first medicated? Do you remember?
I had to be in like the 3rd grade.
Was it
maybe.
Ritalin? Put you on Ritalin?
On Ritalin.
Yeah.
And it
They
really
tried to do
messed
that
with
with
my
me.
personality. And my mom was like, yeah, no, like you can't be a zombie. Like I'll take hyperactive, turned up,
Yeah.
you know, over like whatever this zombie, you know. And then on top of that, still, I just remained with the psychiatrist. And then I, you know, went into teenagehood and I didn't have that anymore. And then I became an adult and just like my experiences in the music industry and the amount of like, honestly, PTSD that causes paired with, you know, all your childhood trauma and like all these things, you kind of get to a point where you're like, all right, I'm not an expert. Like I can't keep being the one to dictate this or to supplement or like to try to fix it. I used to smoke a lot of weed, can't do it, won't do it.
So you don't smoke anymore?
I haven't been a smoker in 5 years.
Wow.
Damn.
People bring me weed all the time and I'm like, dang.
So that's the
But
old
what
me.
about indigo though? Indigo kind of calms your anxiety. Sativa makes you have panic attacks.
You know, it was because I got pregnant and I couldn't. And then I went to a throat doctor and he was like, oh, you don't want to sing for the rest of your life the way your shit looks. Because I was smoking backwards. I was smoking blunts. Like I was, what? You can find pictures of me with like backwoods, like packs spread out like a money spread. Psychotic. And just nasty. And I couldn't do it anymore. And I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm doing all the things that I can possibly do. I'm going to the gym. I'm developing good hobbies. I'm not going out. I'm not doing this. And I'm still struggling. It's to the point where I need to, I need to ask for help. So.
Does it affect your art when you're on whatever medication you're on?
No, it doesn't. It honestly is the first time maybe ever in my life that I feel like I'm clear. Yes.
Well, congratulations. Like I told you when we first started, you can really see it's a different level of confidence. It's a different level, a sense of security, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, we're doing this album, usually people see Kehlani as an R&B artist, but this album is pop, there's country, there's house music, there's reggae music. Were you nervous at all and be like, my fans, my core won't get it?
I actually felt the opposite. I felt like my core fans, my actual core fans would get it because there's been hints of all these things. When my mixtape was nominated for a Grammy, it wasn't nominated for R&B. It was nominated for like contemporary, R&B. So there's been hints of things my whole life. And I felt like they would really understand. I felt like everybody else who really loved one really R&B project of mine or like R&B SoundCloud drops or features would be like, what is this? And so far, for the most part, that's kind of what I've seen. Plus this little subgroup of people who are going like, wow, I didn't even know she had this in her. This is what's going to make me fuck with her. So it's been cool. I'm kind of really liking the polarity of the response. At this point, if I make the same album again, I'm not an artist. If I make the same project after 7 projects, this was my chance to pivot and I took it and I'm stoked to be here, honestly.
Isn't this what art is though? Like you put it out, some people gonna like it, some people not gonna like it. It's subjective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some people are like, this is the best thing I've ever heard you do. And some people are like, this is chicken scratch and it sounds like noise and I hate it.
No, it's
So who
so
do you listen to?
versatile. It's like,
Oh, I don't listen to anyone. I made the album I wanted to make and I'm happy
Great.
with it.
Right.
Yeah.
it's a bunch of different genres within. It's so different.
It was so fun to make.
Yeah.
It was the funnest process. It was so many people involved that were all feel the exact same way about it. It felt like our album, not just mine. We got to celebrate it. Like, I'm happy.
I keep hearing you talk about your fitness journey.
Yeah.
But then they said recently you were body shamed on the internet. I didn't see
You know, it was an interesting body shame because what it was the accusations that I got ab etching. But
Girl, I'll be so sick of people.
Yeah, she got the same
Right.
pregnant.
yeah, it's really interesting. The thing is,
Yeah.
I have diastasis recti and a hernia from being pregnant. So my muscles are split down the middle. So I have this space right here and I have like a lump because it's my intestine. It's a hernia. And it kind of looks like an extra ab randomly above my belly button. Everybody was like, that's the proof. Like,
Oh, boy.
And then they were like, yes, proof because she's not super muscly anywhere else, but just her core. And if you go back, like genetically, my dad is super buff. Like I'm damn near built like my father. And then I've always kind of had, right. you can really see it. And And I've always had abs, and then upon
Yeah.
like just really training my core to like make up for the fact that my muscles aren't connected, and I have to get my core together to be able to do anything, because it's the center of everything. I have to go a little hard on that, and I honestly thought it was hilarious. And then people just being like, "Is that a man?" And I was like, "Do you want me to be?
Jesus.
Would you like me to be?"
But what I love is like you didn't get mad and like go get online and start going crazy back
You know,
and forth.
it doesn't
like,
do
people,
anything.
Yeah.
I used to do that a lot, and then you just realize like there's crazy shit every day. Like people talk about some new shit the next day. I remember when the internet used to destroy me. Like what? I remember the other day, maybe last week, somebody might have tweeted like, "Oh, like y'all don't call Kehlani dirty and she has tattoos," and someone said, "Oh, you must be new here." And everybody was like, "Yeah, because 2016 to 2018, that was it." Everybody was calling me ugly, dirty, everything. And I used to be, I was fucked up about it, like consistently. And then I just got to a point where I was like, well, life kind of goes on, and like I know myself, and like there are people that know me and love me deeply and care about me, and like
you wash.
Right, hello.
Yeah.
Yes, if you guys would like to come to my house for a week and double check if I shower twice a day and the levels of aftercare, like that's on you guys. But you know, you can't prove those things to people. People who already want to be like that are gonna be like that regardless.
Anyway.
So you still on social media, or you got off because of that?
No, I had got off for a second. I actually didn't have Twitter for 2 years. I just got back on because it's just, why'd I get back on?
I haven't been on in 6-7 years. It's not good for my mental.
Oh, it's a terrible place. It's a terrible place. But the people that I need to speak to, my fans, once I learned how to really put blinders on, and not theoretical blinders, but like actual blinders, to be consistently like, this is what matters, and these are the people that love me. It's been the best thing in the world. Sometimes I have my moments. Someone yesterday said some shit to me, like, I think Kehlani's confused about her sexuality, and I was like, I've been exclusively dating women for 3 years, and like the music's really gay, but sure. And then somebody was like, how am I confused? I think I'm the least confused I've ever been, but like, sure. I left the tweet up for 10 seconds and deleted it. You have your moments.
Yeah.
Now, how did your record label, and I guess just the industry period, react to your advocacy for Palestine?
You know, I think we're in a kind of a loop for so long of like what's safe to speak about and what's not safe to speak about, especially with the powers that be being so powerful and that running so deep. Obviously my music came out, and obviously I'm super supported, so absolutely no problem from my record label. I have experienced a lot of pushback. I've experienced a lot of loss. I've experienced a lot of things that were promised and set up for this rollout and album to happen that were supposed to be a lot of firsts.
Really?
Yeah, magazines and these things and those type of brand deals and opportunities that were sad to lose. But at the end of the day, like I don't regret doing something that I can go to sleep at night. I can go to sleep knowing that like what I learned to be as an artist, I'm aligned with, because I grew up fully understanding, you know, the role of art in liberation, and that's not to place myself in alignment with, you know, those artists and those revolutionary acts, but that's to say, like, I understood what it meant to not be silent. Even if I never, you know, put it with the song in the video, even if just me speaking out, I always knew what it meant to have a platform and that responsibility in that way. And like, I can go to sleep knowing that like, I can look myself in the mirror, you know, and know that I did the right thing.
Do these magazines and stuff tell your people why? Do they say you always her advocacy of Palestine?
Those are really big buildings with a lot of people involved, so it always makes its way back.
Yeah.
Now you speak clearly.
Hold on. You also mentioned that your advocacy for Palestine caused a lot of artists to ignore your request for collaboration?
So I was talking very fast on a live, very caffeinated early in the morning, and I wasn't able to like really elaborate on that. There are a lot of more people involved on artist teams than just the artist. And it also wasn't every single feature. There were certain people who didn't get it back in time or it wasn't aligned with like the timing of their album. I didn't mean every single artist, but there were artists that I did reach to, and someone on the team was like, we don't fuck with her. Or they said this and then another thing made its way to me, or like things we know things travel. We know people have conversations, and those people have conversations, and people were respectful enough to not, you know, text me back and say, girl, fuck you, I'm a Zionist, you know, things like that. But I wasn't able to really elaborate that when I would never sit here and name names because it's not about that. It's more about how insidious the industries are, and that we can be so afraid to lose what we've built because so many of us have come from nothing to where we have this scarcity mindset of like, I have to protect what I have going on so hard that I will do anything to stay in that world to protect it because I have to keep feeding my family. I have to keep, building my legacy. I have to do that. I don't want to chance that. And it's sad because that does get dangled in front of our faces when it comes to really important political matters that people don't align with. It's sad. It's unfortunate. And I'm not mad at anyone. I'm not holding anything against anyone. I was definitely on that live like, yeah, and by the way, let me tell y'all about da-da-da-da. But I definitely have those moments where I'm like, this shit is fucked up. But typically I'm a longer thinker and I have more to the thought, and it was just unfortunate, really.
So you understand when artists don't want to speak out about political or social issues?
Or how do you feel about it that they don't, especially coming from particular backgrounds? I
am the type of person that is very nuanced. Like, I understand how people got to most things. It's unfortunate. I feel like it's unfortunate. I am saddened by it. It does make me sad because I really do believe in our power as people with influence. This is why the presidents involve music artists. What they've got all type of music artists campaigning for the presidents. They bring us out to sing at all the campaigns, all the events. Whenever there's anything going on, they want us to all get together and drop a song for it. Like, they keep showing us how powerful we are. There's a younger generation who don't know what a policy is, but they know their rappers' favorite songs. They know their R&B singers' favorite songs, and they will learn about anything going on in the world if their favorite person tells them. Yeah. And I may have expressed it super like angrily every single time I've talked about it online, but that's because I understand that also sometimes shame works as a teacher. So if I got to come on there and say, fuck all of y'all because wake your ass up, if you want to sit and have a longer conversation with me, we can get to this point. But it has made me viscerally angry so many times to feel like, look what we could do. And they also wouldn't be able to hold us back anymore if we all banded together. They can't cancel all of us. They could cancel me and they'd be like, okay, we got somebody out of here. That's cool. They could cancel the couple people that speak up. But if everybody spoke up, that power imbalance wouldn't exist anymore. We're just the people united. That's the quote. So we have to like stand on that.
And you raised over $500,000 for Gaza, Sudan, and the Congo.
Yeah.
Do you think money is the only way people can help?
Absolutely not. I think in every single issue, the idea is that you're supposed to listen to the requests of the people at the core of the issue. You're supposed to abide by the requests of the most oppressed. And they have asked us to literally speak. Like, that's the thing about this whole, like, social media doesn't do anything, speaking doesn't do anything, awareness doesn't do anything, but there are people in Congo who are just saying, make our stories heard. There are people in Sudan who go, just speak about us. They're not talking about us on the news. They're not talking about us in these magazines. They're not talking about us anywhere, but you guys are. Gaza opened the door for people to even be aware of Congo and Sudan on a global scale because those issues have preceded this genocide. Those genocides have been happening. Those famines, that extreme displacement, those have already been existing. And Gaza has opened up the world to Haiti, to Yemen, to all of these places that all this is going on. So the least we can do is share things here and there. And you don't have to have money, but if you do, you should put it where your mouth is for sure.
I was going to ask, with Kamala Harris being from your side of town, did y'all ever have a conversation? Did you ever reach out to her for everything that's going on? Not at all?
No, I'm not really big on presidents or their folks. Not a governmental girl, really.
Yeah.
Like there's not really, there's power in government, but the real power is with the people.
It's in the people. Absolutely. Yeah.
You are a West Coast girl,
and
Oakland girl.
Yeah.
What you think about Kendrick?
I knew where this was going.
I just want to. They want to be asking you about presidents and serious stuff.
Who was rooting for Drake?
What?
Wasn't you rooting for Drake?
I haven't publicly rooted for anyone, but have you not seen me at the club dancing and I like us?
Earlier in the hall, you was humming.
Oh, you could hear me through the soundproof door? Okay. You see what they're trying to pin on me in this room?
It's crazy. How was he humming that way?
I very much respect both artists. Drake actually named my album It Was Good Until It Wasn't. He showed me a lot of love over time, like publicly, privately. So has Kendrick.
He named that album?
He did. We were having a conversation and I told him what I wanted to name it. And then he was like, no, what's going on in life? And I told him and he was like, and I was like, yeah, it was good until it wasn't. And he was like, if you don't use it as your album title, I am. And I was like, Okay, right. You're right. It is a very Drake album title.
It is.
I think it came down to if I'm on some West Coast shit, I'm from the West. Like I know how important this unity is of all of us, and I know how imperative this representation of us is. Like I love Kendrick. That's the only artist I've ever stood in a line and like waited to get something signed for when I was in high school.
Yes.
Like a soundtrack to my life. So I have no like personal entrances in anything. I'm just as a fan of the music.
What section
it's
is rapping?
West, big West.
Just musically though.
Yeah,
what did you
just
think
music.
Of it?
I mean, we have to respect what we saw. We
He's
saw
been making fun
it.
of us beige people ever since, though.
Oh my God, hilarious.
So listen, when you sing "Not Like Us," do you feel bad because it's so catchy?
I have had moments where I was like in the club and I seen that it's a club thing and I was like, damn, this is crazy. But I also remember every single big diss track in history being able to be played for massive groups of people gathering and it being a thing that everybody is like. I was too young for like the Ether era, but like everybody talks about it and they're like, this was crazy.
It wasn't like this. This is in the club every night, though. Ether wasn't in the club.
Yeah.
It was more
I mean,
radio.
Back to Back was in the club.
Back
to back was in the club.
Yeah, so it's eras, it's moments. Honestly, I'm not in hip hop, so I can't speak to the sport of it. But like, it's a sport, I guess.
You ever text Drake like, "Yo, man, you did your thing. Nothing to be ashamed about. It was all good."
No,
till it wasn't.
I feel like he has
Yo,
real
he's
people
stupid,
around him
yo.
who hold him down, and I feel like it's taking that moment to be like, hey, by the way. You know. Let me make sure you know I support you. Yeah, he's got his folks.
Damn.
You mentioned a tour. Are we getting a crash tour?
Absolutely. I made this album 2 tours specifically. Like there was so many sounds where I was like, this is gonna be so fun to sing. It's gonna be so fun to dance to. It's gonna be so fun to play with a band. So absolutely. Well, I think for me, touring is the epicenter of my career to the point where sometimes you can't even really tell what's going on with the music streaming and charting wise. People are like, what? And then you come to the tour and it's these huge venues and people are like, I actually had no idea because when I look at how it's doing over there, and it's just a classic example for me of like impact versus, numbers. And my shows are huge. My shows are a blast. Everybody has a great time. Everybody feels safe. Everybody has fun. Like that is what's important to me. So we're going to do it again for sure.
That's what's up because by then, I would have had my baby and I can get big high.
You miss it?
Very much.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm not like you, girl. I'm going to smoke. Okay? But
Enjoy.
But not backwards, though.
Yeah,
I
no.
do the people.
Yeah, that's good.
You know,
yeah, I'm starting to get off the backwoods movement with all the friends.
Just do
Yeah,
edible.
take care of yourself.
You don't like no plant-based medicines?
I like CBD a lot. I like mushrooms. I ate a lot of mushrooms making this album. You might could tell. There's some trippiness on here. Yeah.
That one that you played me, oh my God, which one it was?
Which one was that?
When oh my God, it sounds like a, oh
Was
my
it
God, it
Crash?
sounded like if we
Was
was
it What
in,
I Want?
No, it
Room
wasn't.
Theory, Next to You?
I don't know, but here, played it and I was like, damn, if I shroom, I'd probably be
You
like
talking about After Hours?
going crazy. No, not
Oh.
after hours. I can dance to that one. But this one just seemed like
There's some
it had
trippy
me in the
ones, so
room.
I have no idea.
I forgot.
I don't know
But he was playing the whole album earlier, but it was one particular song. I was like, oh yeah, can't wait to get high to listen to that.
I was probably on mushrooms when I made it for sure.
Yeah.
Are you aware of like the journey in life that you're going through? And if so, what era would you define this era?
So comparatively to where I was at with my last album, I feel like my last album, I had reached the ending of what was like toxic positivity and like toxic spirituality, like almost psychosis-y, being like really in my like, and not accepting that also what comes with that is like they're really getting into your shadow and really getting into also like every single part of myself. And now I'm in this, I feel like this era is just really standing in it. I feel like I'm down to be whatever everybody thinks I am for the first time in my life. I'm not over here trying to prove anything different. I'm not over here like I don't care to clear up anything. I don't care to address anything. I have nothing to say about any of that. If you think I suck, let's do it. If you think I'm a terrible person, let's do it. If you think I'm the best person in the world, thank you. I appreciate you. And I think that truly speaks to what you were saying about how different I feel, is that I'm settled in a way where I'm so at peace with who I know I am and my core foundation that it's not going to be rocked by anything else going on.
Yeah.
I love that.
Damn, Kay.
Great answer, Kehlani.
Thank you.
Well, the album Crash is out now.
Yeah.
What you want to hear? Don't say After Hours. We played that already. So what you want to hear besides that?
Play that.
Play Deep.
Deep?
On site.
That's a fun one.
Deep? All right. Well, let's
Deep
get
is
into Deep
fun.
right now. Make sure you pick up the album if you haven't got it already, and congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
I just love,
Everything.
I love the
appreciate
fact that you're just happy. You just look
Yeah.
happy.
That's the
now.
big. That's the
Thank
most important
you.
thing.
That's
I'm
right.
happy that you are in a place of peace.
That's
Thank
right.
you. I'm super happy.
Well, it's Kehlani, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Breakfast Club.
Hi,
Good
y'all.
morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.